Our first session is titled FMCG e-commerce opportunities with Co-Operative. And we're very privileged to have Chris Conway, who's the head of digital and e-commerce at the Co-Operative Group, join us alongside Gary Kisby, who's the head of web operations, also at the Co-Operative Group. In terms of their bios, I've just got a few headlines to read out in terms of their background. So Chris joined the Co-op in March 2018 and is currently responsible for the Co-op Foods digital transformation, as well as exploring opportunities in the online space. Previous to this, Chris led the Morrisons.com team for two after spending 14 years at Asda, most recently as the senior director for grocery e-commerce. And then Gary, who I can see is on the call already. Hi, Gary. Nice to see you. For the last 12 years, I believe you've been working in grocery e-commerce with a number of roles at Asda, including the online trading team, before moving to Co-op in June 2019 to join the exciting launch of the Co-Operative e-commerce proposition. So welcome, Gary and Chris. I'll hand over to you both now, and then we'll regroup for questions at the end of your session.
Great, thanks very much, Katie, for that. Hopefully you can all hear me, and thanks, Francis, nice to see you again. I'll just attempt to share my screen and then we'll be straight on with the presentation. So please bear with me. There we go. Hopefully that works seamlessly and everything is hunky-dory. Right, first of all, pleasure to be here today. Obviously, Katie introduced us, so I won't bore you with any more introductory chat. I'll go straight into the presentation. Gary and I are going to do this between us, so I'm going to do the first half and Gary's going to do the second half. And obviously I think we've got a few minutes at the end for Q&A, subject to us keeping to time, which I'm sure we will. So thanks for joining us. I think first of all I'd like to say it's a real shame we're not together in person, but you know, hopefully we're going to make the best of it in a virtual sense, and I hope everybody is well and safe. Right, so into the presentation then, which isn't moving, funnily enough. 1 second. One more time. There we go, we'll do it the traditional way. There we go. So, first of all, I'll start off with Co-op's ambition then. So, our ambition actually is to be the #1 convenience retailer in the UK. You know, we've got food turnover of about £7.5 billion. But in terms of our cooperative group, we turn over close to 11 billion now. We've got a number of businesses that we're really proud of. From a food perspective, we're really keen that our 2,600 plus stores around the country should give us the reach we need to be #1 convenience retailer in the UK. We're going to realise that through our what we call our closer to you strategy, and this is particularly for food. So it's about closer to where I am, closer to what I need, and closer to what I care about. And that's really important. And that really runs through everything we do in our food business. And from a digital perspective, that's supported through our digital vision. So our digital vision is reimagining convenience retailing for a digital world, giving more people access to our co-op. And I'll come on to explain a little bit more about that in a second. So really, how are we going to do that? And as Katie said, I joined the Co-op just over 2 years ago, and we didn't have a digital presence at all, or an online presence. So we're late entrants to the market, and we've got a lot of catching up to do. But I think what gives us real confidence is the way that people are shopping, and the way that people are shopping online is very much how they're shopping in the physical world. You know, they're not as much wanting to do big basket shops as they once were. They want to do little shops often. They want to have less waste, and really they want online shopping to be as convenient for them as physical shopping is. And you know, as a convenience retailer, we've done particularly well. We've had 7 years of continuous quarterly growth as a business, and really we've benefited from the change in customer behavior, as well as running a fantastic business. So online, we believe that's what's happening as well. So we want to be a leader in that and make sure that we're in the right place. So actually, as customers turn to online, they can use our convenience and our same day offering the same way they would in the physical sense. We're going to do it predominantly by using 4 pillars. So the first one, represented here by the little kind of basket icon, is our own e-commerce channel. And our own e-commerce channel is actually, as it sounds, we've built up our own e-commerce platform it's if you go to co-op.co.uk, you'll buy food online. It's an in-house built platform predominantly, which is based on our Azure cloud platform, whilst utilising very, very key best-in-class third parties. What I would say about building your own e-commerce platform is it takes quite a while, and you can't get the scale that you need immediately, although that absolutely is our ambition, and I'll come on to talk more about that in a second. But the headline from our own e-commerce business is that we launched our first store in March 2019. So we've now been live 18 months. The proposition is it's a minimum basket of £15. It's a convenience basket. So, the average basket sizes are kind of £25, £30. It's delivered from your local shop, picked by your local co-op colleague, and delivered by trusted partners in the main. It's an absolute same day on demand convenience proposition, and it's not trying to be anything else. And we believe that's firmly where the customers want us to be. And I'll come on to more about how we've scaled that this year in a second. Also, we think it's important, we're not number one or number two retailer in the UK, and we haven't got the scale. And what we've learned from our international partners is that actually working with partners can be a really good thing in this space. So partners is our second pillar. And I put Deliveroo on this slide because actually, as you may or may not be aware, Deliveroo are our biggest partner at the moment, but we are working with 4 or 5 different partners. Through Deliveroo, we've managed to enable hundreds of our stores. This is a very much ASAP on-demand proposition. So again, you can order from your local co-op on the Deliveroo platform, like you can with any restaurant. The order is sent through to a co-op store. It's picked by co-op colleagues, and it's sent to the customer's address via Deliveroo riders. Typically, our orders are getting to the customer within 25 minutes of them ordering. So it's a really, really super fast proposition. Again, we've launched hundreds of stores, so we can be as close to the customer as we possibly can. And actually, I believe that partnerships are a really important part of our strategy, and we'll continue to grow with our partners in this space. What it does, it gives us volume and scale, and also enables us to buy some time while we build our own proposition up at the same time. The third pillar here is home delivery. So we've got an existing home delivery business out of over 200 stores. This is where customers come into our stores, they do their own shopping, and we deliver it later in the day. It's a historical business for us. It's been around for about 12 years, but actually it's a bit broken and we need to fix it. So part of my remit is around fixing the technology of home delivery. So we've been doing that this year. Actually, we're implementing new kiosks. We're implementing new technology, which is real-time technology. It's integrated with our back-end e-commerce platform, which means the customers get exactly the same experience, whether you're ordering online or whether you're doing your own shopping in store. And the customer gets real-time alerts. They can track their order. They know exactly when it's coming. And actually, we'll be growing that business as we move forward. And then finally, this is the kind of basket in the monitor here is very much around test and learn. So we're absolutely certain that we need to test and learn in this space. And I referred to it at the start of the presentation when I said actually we're a late entrant into the market, which means we need to learn really fast, but also it means we've got the agility to do things. And we've done lots of learning in this space. We've been doing autonomous deliveries with Starship Technologies now for 2 years. We're delivering thousands of orders a week out of nearly 10 stores in Milton Keynes, and we're about to expand that proposition. We've got test and learn trials with Buy Me in Bristol. We've got a test and learn trial with Pinga in London, and we've got a few trials that are under the radar as well that we don't necessarily talk about in the public domain that we're really excited about. So we're constantly up for testing and learning, and we want to do that with brands as well, actually. So what's 2020 been like for us so far? So like I've already said, we started this journey last year, really. So 2019 for us was a year of trial. And yes, we launched our proposition. We proved that customers wanted to use it. And as such, we exited the year with 32 of our own e-commerce stores. We exited the year with 200 Deliveroo stores. And actually, we'd fixed a few bits and pieces around our home delivery technology. So internally, back to the business, I was able to talk about the success that we've had. I was able to say, yes, actually, customers do spend this amount with the co-op. This is how often they shop. They really want to shop with us online, and this is how they're doing it. And that internally gave us a lot of kudos, really, and a lot of backing from our executive team, which meant we were able to accelerate into 2020. So I'm really pleased to announce that, you know, we've done a lot of celebration recently in 2020, and we've been able to really accelerate our propositions. So from a co-op e-commerce perspective, you know, we'll be picking out of over 700 of our co-op stores this year, which is absolutely fantastic to go from 30 to 700 by the end of the year. From a Deliveroo store perspective, we'll be picking out of over 500 Deliveroo locations, really close to the customer, making sure they get co-op products in the hands of our customers. You know, we've expanded our Starship robot trial to 10 stores, and we'll be looking at new locations very shortly. We've done trials with Pinga, Buy Me, and also we've started to implement some trials not only with our home delivery but technology, but also with our home delivery fleet. There's some pictures on here around some great successes. Our 400 store in the bottom right, where we celebrated with our colleagues, and all this done with a backdrop of a pandemic going on, which has meant it's been more important to our customers than ever before, really. So moving on, a few highlights, but a lot more to come, really. So what we've done in 2020 is we've moved from trial to rollout. We've done lots of fantastic joint marketing with Deliveroo, including a fantastic TV advert, as well as some great social media. We've developed a driver application for all our co-op delivered orders, because we do deliver a lot of the orders ourselves. We've implemented a new picking application on our in-store device, which we call the HHT, and we've implemented a new mobile device with Deliveroo. We've got some fantastic operational KPIs, and we're delivering some great service to our customer on Deliveroo. We've extended ranges massively on all our platforms, and we've got over 4,500 products on our co-op platform, and we've got nearly 1,000 products on Deliveroo now. We've launched hundreds of stores remotely using Microsoft Teams and training our colleagues and implementing the operational progress. We've got massive progress on our zero and low emission commitments, and absolutely we want to be completely zero emission in our own e-commerce proposition within a number of years. So we're very certain about that, and we've expanded our robot proposition, but there's lots more to do. As a business, we've just relaunched our membership proposition, which means we give 2% back of everything that you spend in store or online to our community. And you're going to see much more about that on our website and our application later this year and early next year. We've got some fantastic new delivery, which connects us with our Deliveroo platform, which means we can content manage that platform remotely from Co-op, which is a fantastic enhancement. We're able to manage inventory in real time as well. We've got massive click and collect improvements, both from a store perspective, but also an online journey perspective. And I'm really excited to say we're launching the first of our electric vans this month, actually. And that rollout will continue over the next couple of years until eventually all our old vans are off the road and we've got a completely zero emission electric van fleet, which again, we're very excited about. I just wanted to show you this video, so I hope this works. This is just a great example of what we've done with Deliveroo in the last month or so.
Thank you ever so much.
No worries. Very.
Great. I hope that worked, and I hope you really enjoyed that. I think that was the best Mary Berry impersonator we could find at short notice. I think she was fantastic and very topical, actually. And that campaign had a fantastic relevance to our customers, and we saw some great commercial benefit out of that. So it's just a great example of how we've worked with Deliveroo, really. So, but saying all this, and the fact that we've accelerated it massively is great, but we all know that this year's been a challenging one, and you know what's going on in the wider market has really impacted what we've been able to do and how we've grown in this pandemic almost. So very quickly, I'm sure you'll know that when the pandemic started, it was almost impossible to get an online delivery slot. And actually what we did as a co-op is we managed to increase our capacity, initially fourfold, but by now actually tenfold compared to what we had at the start of March. And we're very, very proud of that. And obviously the market demand has increased dramatically in online. So pre-pandemic, grocery penetration online was about 7% of all spend. Actually, at its height during the pandemic, that went up to 15%. And actually, I think now it's between 13 and 14. So a lot of that has stuck. Initial research that we've done and the IGD done does suggest that 30 to 50% of that is really, really sticky, and those customers will continue to shop online. The online market size has grown dramatically, and we expect it to reach 20 billion by 2024, depending on which forecast you believe. It's heavily driven by click and collect in some of the big four supermarkets, but absolutely, we believe we've got an important part to play in that. Shopping behavior has been really strange as well. For years, there's been a real change in how customers shop. They've been moving away from laptops and computers and shopping on their mobile and shopping on their tablets. And actually, we've seen a bit of a difference this year. We've seen people shopping on laptops again, and reacting to that different type of behavior and changing your strategy to make sure you're covering all bases has been quite challenging. But we need to be absolutely aware of that, and we all need to be aware of that. And actually, we need to be aware of the change in shopper profile. Older shoppers are now 24% of what people are buying online. That was up 95% from pre-COVID, where actually quite a small proportion of shoppers were older. So that might explain some of the laptop behavior as well. So I just wanted to kind of put a nod to that, saying actually we're aware of what's going in the market, and it's really changed our thinking and approach. Therefore, obviously, we need to accelerate and invest. We've got a great kind of mantra here on the left, which says actually this is our current proposition. We've got Deliveroo, which is our ASAP proposition, and our other partners. We've got our own co-op e-commerce proposition, which is absolutely same day within 2 hours, but we're seeing people order quicker than that, and we're seeing people order later in the day, and even some people ordering the next day. And we're working with other partners to see how we can satisfy those bigger baskets a bit further out. We've got a fantastic technology infrastructure that's got Co-op at the heart of what we're doing. It's built on the Azure cloud. It's been built in a very modern way, so we haven't got all the legacy that all our competitors or some of our competitors have. We've been able to build a great technology infrastructure of fantastic microservices that are really making sure we're best in class in some of this stuff, which we're very proud of. But before I move on to Gary, I think it's really important to recognize the fact that we've got over 2,600 stores in the UK, and they're absolutely key to how we reach our customers. Effectively, we've got 2,600 dark stores, hubs, whatever you want to call them, and that's what's really important to us. That's not to say we aren't looking at automation, because we are. I've met all the automation providers. We're looking at micro fulfillment centers and how we can adopt some of that technology in some of our stores, and that will come to the fore over the next couple of years, I think. And also, we're constantly expanding our proposition into zero emission to make sure we have either electric vehicles or automated vehicles to reduce the impact on our environment, and that's equally important to us. I'll now pass on to Gary. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, everyone. Seems a bit strange to say hello to everyone looking into one screen, but I'll do it anyway. I'm going to rely on Chris to drive my slides almost by telepathy over the next few minutes, so keep your fingers crossed for me. Just to re-emphasize the point Chris was making about the rapid growth that we've experienced this year. So look, the chart shows our orders by week. Clearly COVID, and you could all pinpoint the point where that hit. Clearly COVID changed the pace of this overnight, particularly on Deliveroo, which is the green bar. But we've had the agility both in terms of tech and in terms of how fast we can set up e-commerce that we were able to really capitalize on the opportunity. And we've proven the incrementality of e-commerce. So the stores that are operating it for us are massively outperforming those that aren't. Now, we've talked a lot about our two main platforms. These are our current focus. So our own e-commerce site and Deliveroo, that they are very different entities, very different customer sets, different missions, different commercials, and from a ranging and a merchandising point of view, which is predominantly my world, they need to be treated very differently. So if I talk about our own site for a second, we're very carefully building the range on that. We're close to about 5,000 SKUs right now. we reflect in-store pricing, in-store promotions, and we've got a real solid roadmap of improvements to the customer experience kind of in the pipeline. On Deliveroo, so we manage pricing and promotions in a more bespoke way, in a way that's more fitting for those customers. And just last week, we've made our fourth significant range increase this year, and we've moved to over 800 SKUs. Each time we've done this, we've seen an uplift in some of our main KPIs, so in conversion, in sales, in basket, and I think COVID has changed the landscape really for Deliveroo, and buying groceries through them is it's probably one of these new normals, I guess. As a brand, then what does this mean? It probably means that Co-op's it's pretty unique, not only in having an online convenience offering ourselves, that 2-hour delivery, but or indeed kind of scheduled delivery through the week, but also that real express offering through Deliveroo in less than 25 minutes. And that means our category mix is really interesting. And what's really important here as an FMCG brand is that you really understand the role of your category or subcategory, not just for Co-op online, but across each of the sales platforms. So here you'll see on Deliveroo where we massively over-index in some of the impulse areas and BWS, those missions that really need to be satisfied quickly. Whereas we see a significant overtrade in some of the fresh areas on our own website, where customers are topping up or are buying meals for that night. And to be honest, it's probably true that in most categories, you will need to have two plans, even sometimes for the same product. Now, we want to put data at the heart of the decisions we make. I think that's true of a lot of people. We want to put data at the base of any of those plans that we make too. And we've really started to motor on this. So we've recently tied up with Content Square to provide real-time customer behavioral analytics across our website. So this slide, for example, shows just some test data that's overlaid with any number of key metrics. The point on this was to help us to try and make decisions on homepage layouts for a mobile view based on exposure and the impact on conversion. And then on this next slide, we've wanted to analyze the customer journey for those people that are engaging with a new previous orders feature that we'd recently released. So in this view, it helps us to understand where the customers are heading to after visiting this page. So in this case, mainly browsing through taxonomy, which is the kind of brown sections to the top right. And for example, it's really interesting in seeing for every browsing action, a lot of those customers will continue to browse through a lot of the taxonomy onwards in their journey. Now, without turning this into a sales pitch, I kind of do have to mention media opportunities. So we're working constantly to develop new assets alongside our agency partner Threefold. But what's been really important to me and to Chris here is that we're creating packages that are aligned with our customer and our commercial objectives, that they're as kind of integrated as possible to the customer journey. We don't just really want to be selling banners, taking the money, never calling people back. We want to create value in what we do. So we've got opportunities not only on our site but across Deliveroo too, any of which can be unlocked through a single point of contact at Threefold, meaning that there are great opportunities to kind of plan and land substantial campaigns that touch multiple customer types. We want to work differently with brands. It was something that when I joined the Co-op, I was really clear about, that we wanted to work as collaboratively as possible. And so this year we've partnered with 9 key brands, not only in media investment, but in how we've worked together. So in how we've shared our strategy, how we've brought them along the journey with us, that we've tested and learned stuff together. And actually, we've been able to build alignments between complementary brands, ultimately for the customer's benefit. I think it's been incredibly productive. We've learned a lot together as we've gone through the year. And this is very much something that we want to continue going into 2021. So I guess as I leave you, in summary, Co-op's e-commerce offer is growing rapidly. It will continue to do so. We've got huge plans for next year. And as an FMCG brand listening to this, we really want to collaborate. We really want to align. So, if you haven't already had a conversation with a commercial colleague at Co-op, please do so. If there is anything that myself or my team can do to help, then please reach out. Please get in touch. And I hope to speak to some of you, kind of virtually or otherwise, at some point over the coming months. So thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for Chris for seamlessly aligning those slides. And I think I'll hand back over to the host now for Q&A.
Thanks, guys. Fascinating presentation. As a Clapham Co-op Deliveroo shopper, it's been great to see your range kind of back in March, where it was a few items, to now, as you said, I think 800 SKUs, which is great as a consumer. I know we're slightly running over for time, so I'm not sure if we'll get into Q&A. We might need to start into our next session. But if people have got questions, I guess if they can send them through to you directly, I've certainly got loads, so I'm fascinated. But I think we'll hand over now to Francis for our next session. Thank you both.
Thanks,
Thanks everybody.